Why is it so hard for retirees to enjoy their money in retirement? A quick Google search will turn up Bogleheads forums or Reddit threads with hundreds of responses, beginning with the question, if retired, do you find it hard to spend even though you have enough money? You'll find the stories of well-prepared retirees commiserating with one another over the difficulties of switching from a savings mindset to a spending mindset. My name is Amzalag. I'm a certified financial planner, and I'm the owner of an independent financial planning firm. And every year I have hundreds of conversations with well-prepared retirees who are struggling to find the confidence to enjoy the wealth in retirement. So in today's video, we're going to walk through why it's so hard for retirees to enjoy their money. And I'm going to literally give away the system that we use to help retirees never worry about spending money in retirement again. But first, what if I told you that the more financially prepared the retiree, the less they actually spent of their wealth? Sounds completely backwards, but this is actually true, and there's a lot of data to support this. In fact, the Employee Benefits Research Institute did a study in 2018 analyzing the spending habits of retirees during their first 2 decades of retirement, or less if they didn't make it that far. And here's what they found. People with less than $200,000 in assets, not including their home, spent down around 25% of their savings in the first 18 years of retirement. Individuals with between $200,000 and $500,000 heading into retirement spent a little more than 27% of their money. Retirees with $500,000 or more at retirement, well, they spent less than 12% of their nest egg within the first 20 years of retirement. And then people with a pension spent the least from their portfolios, with assets down an average of just 4% compared to a 34% decline for the average of non-pensioners. Now, the takeaway here is that the more money retirees have, the more reluctant they are to touch it. And the result isn't freedom, it's actually paralysis. I reassure retirees all the time that well-prepared retirees don't suddenly become impulsive spenders, but the exact set of behaviors that help a retiree arrive at the finish line with $1, $2, or $3 million are the exact habits that will keep you from running out of money in retirement. Now, the powers that be want people just like you to believe that more data will finally give you the confidence to spend without worry in retirement. We imagine that if we just had the right numbers, the right forecasts, that we could finally breathe easy. What we're looking for, though, isn't data. It's a feeling, right? A feeling of control. We want to know that if things go sideways, we have tools in our toolbox that we can control, that we can trust. Those tools would be a way to bring a retirement that feels like it's slipping out of control back to stable ground. Now, sure, it can be comforting to read JP Morgan's 2025 retirement guide and see that you are 85% more likely to die with more wealth than you started with than run out of money. But let's be honest, none of that really pushes retirees across the confidence threshold, because there's always that little voice that whispers, sure, it worked out for most people, but what if the future's different? What if I retire at the worst possible time? Now, if you find yourself nodding, saying to yourself, yes, I've heard that voice in the back of my head, well, you're not alone, right? Most of the millionaire next door types still struggle to flip the switch from saving to spending. One prospect I spoke to recently has over $4.5 million saved, and yet they only spend $132,000 a year and still expect to take in $35,000 from Social Security. They said their plan was to live below their means, stay invested, and leave things to their kids. In other words, they were just stuck being a saver. Another couple I spoke to had $3.5 million in investment accounts right before the market dipped in 2020. And then when the market dipped in 2020, they started scrutinizing every purchase, quote unquote, down to the napkins. And it took them some time to realize their stress was unfounded, but ultimately that is what they did realize. And so what's the solution? Well, my opinion is it's not more data, right? It's not a probability of success score that tells you nothing about how to behave or what changes to make when things go south. Probability of success score financial plans are like visiting a nutritionist. They hand you a beautifully organized calendar full of the ideal meals that will help you lose weight, but they don't give you the ingredients or teach you how to shop or cook. And so the plan itself is no help, right? It simply cannot be executed because you don't know how to cook the meals or, build the meals. No. The solution to what we're talking about is a plan that you can actually execute. It's a plan or a toolbox that you can pick up and execute consistently, repetitively over time which is rarely the best on paper plan. But in retirement, you need a system that's made up of actions, right? Predetermined behaviors that give you back a sense of control. Now, in a minute or two, I'm going to show you the exact system and process I use with clients to remove spending fears. And we call that system the Retirement Confidence Dashboard. But first, if you're watching this video and you're thinking, Eric, you're talking about me, then after this video, I want you to click the first link in the description, and it's going to take you to another short video explaining how to fully optimize your retirement plan and achieve your spending goals. Okay, so the Retirement Confidence Dashboard is not a financial model, right? It's a set of behaviors. It's data that you would track yourself that helps retirees tune into the signals that they can actually control in retirement. The Retirement Confidence Dashboard tracks three things. First, it's going to track your annual, monthly, and remainder of the year portfolio withdrawals. I'm going to show this to you in a second. The second thing it tracks is where your portfolio value is relative to your guardrails. The third thing it tracks is your retirement spending confidence. And so right now I'm going to show you the actual Retirement Confidence Dashboard that we use with our clients at Peak Financial Planning. And I'm going to put this actual spreadsheet into the description below as a free downloadable link. No email address required. Just note that it's going to be the second link in the description below. So the Retirement Confidence Dashboard is really, really simple. It's elegant, it's simple, it's not sexy. First, here we have a very simple sheet in which you can track your yearly portfolio withdrawals. So we have a column here for the year. We have a column for the starting portfolio value. We have a column for your spending capacity. Your spending capacity is a number that's generated by our modern Guardrails financial plan software. And then we have columns for your year-to-date withdrawals, the remainder of the year withdrawals, the number of months remaining in the year, and then the remaining withdrawals per month that would be allowed if you were to divide that or prorate that by the remaining months. Now, the idea here is really straightforward. At the beginning of the year, you update the portfolio value in this second column here, and then you also update your spending capacity out of your software. Then you plug in your year-to-date withdrawals each month, right? So in January, the number would be 0, but in February, that column would have some dollar amount in there as you did your January withdrawal. And then the remainder column right here has a formula in it that will update automatically and tell you how much you have left to withdraw for the year. And then finally, the only other thing you need to update in here would be the number of months remaining. And once you update that, it will prorate, as I said, how much you can withdraw per month if you wanted to do them as monthly withdrawals. Each month after the first month of the year, you'd come into the spreadsheet and you'd update only two columns: the year-to-date withdrawal number and the number of months remaining. And then you just let the formulas in here do the rest of the work for you. And then each year, you would duplicate this sheet and start from scratch for the following year. Just follow the system, right? Now, this simple system will keep you in touch with how much you can actually withdraw each year according to your plan, but also how much you've withdrawn year to date so that you know when you're pushing up against your limits. Now, the second sheet here, this one is called the Guardrails Monitoring Sheet. And this sheet is where you track your actual guardrails and your withdrawal capacity. Risk-based guardrails software will do this for you if you have access to it, but I still recommend, even if you have access to it, that you actually manually update this worksheet every month. This sheet here tells us, based on your current portfolio balance, so let's say in this example here of a portfolio value of $1,500,000. This sheet will tell you how much you can withdraw each month, so $7,200, and then each year, $87,200. Again, this data is pulled from the modern guardrails or risk-based guardrails software. And then the spreadsheet will show you your lower guardrail. Your lower guardrail tells you if your portfolio were to drop, in this example, from $1.5 million to $1.4 million, you would cut your spending by 5%, which is over here in the percent change of income category. Tracking this sheet monthly means that you will never be surprised if or when you near a lower guardrail. You'll always know when you will need to cut your spending and by exactly how much. Again, this information is generated by modern guardrails financial planning software. Finally, this third sheet right here is called your spending confidence sheet. Again, simple, elegant, not sexy. Each month you would come in here, you'd add the date, and then you'd rate your spending confidence between 1 and 10. 1 would indicate no confidence, time to burn the entire plan down, start from scratch, go back to work. God willing, you'll never find yourself in that position. 10 would indicate total confidence. You lose 0 sleep at night over your ability to spend in retirement. You are cruising, right? Now, tracking this will help you quantify and extract your emotions alongside what is actually happening in the other two sheets with your portfolio, your guardrails, and your withdrawals, right? Yet too often our emotions are completely unattached to what is happening with our portfolio or our spending plan. Doing this exercise where you do the withdrawal monitoring, the guardrail monitoring, and the spending confidence tracking all at the same time each month, every year, helps sensitize you, right? Think of it like tracking your weight daily or weekly, which will help sensitize you to the foods or activities that help you gain or lose weight, right? Well, tracking these 3 metrics on an ongoing basis will help you stay in touch with the health and, more importantly, your confidence in your retirement plan. Now, a quick final note here. The retirement confidence dashboard is actually the final step in a 4-step financial planning process, right? The first step in a normal financial planning process is what we call feasibility. That's understanding whether you can retire on the day and timeline you would like. This is about finding out whether your portfolio can support the desired spending you want in retirement. And this is really a one-time action you do before you make the big decision to leave work and live off of your saved assets. Now, we prefer Modern Guardrails software for this. And if you want to watch a more detailed video about Modern Guardrails and how we use that, you can click the link up here to watch that video. The second step in the financial planning process is to learn a framework for what we call low-frequency actions. Low-frequency actions are typically one-time or highly infrequent actions in retirement. These would include things like learning the best Social Security claiming strategy, how to adjust that if you need to, learning how a Roth conversion strategy, or learning about pre-Medicare health insurance, among other things. Those are things you learn about in advance, but then you make a decision. Once you make the decision, you're committed to it. They're material planning items that, with enough education, good decisions can be made that will influence your retirement. But once the decision is made, it's permanent, and it's not something you can use as a tool later in retirement to quote unquote adjust your course, because these actions are one and done, right? The third step in the financial planning process is to learn a framework for emergencies. So this would look like doing stress testing in a financial planning software, right? Think about adding in an $100,000 surprise expense in the second year of your retirement. See what that does to your spending capacity in the first year of retirement. Think to yourself, how would that make me feel? Would I be able to accommodate the changes that would be required of me if that were to happen? Or add in a 30% portfolio correction in year 4 of your retirement and do the same thing. See what it does to your spending capacity for years 1 through 5, right? And again, ask yourself, can I accept the trade-offs of that? What would that actually do to my retirement? And this leads us to the fourth and final step in the process, which is to find a framework for what we call high-frequency actions. High-frequency actions are the things that give you the control over your retirement. And this is where the retirement confidence dashboard comes into play, because the retirement confidence dashboard is how you monitor when and how close you are to need to make a spending reduction in retirement. And the truth is, spending reductions in retirement are the best and only tool that you are in complete control over the outcome of. And as such, we want a system that is easy to understand, easy to monitor, and is regularly tracked and updated so that you're never taken by a surprise. And so to wind this video down, you can't predict the future, right? All you can control are your behaviors. Once you know which behaviors give you the most control over your future outcomes, you can focus on those behaviors rather than focusing on everything around you that you cannot control. The retirement confidence dashboard is the answer to that problem. And I truly, truly believe, and I've seen this in practice with our clients, that if you use it, you will find your confidence and, more importantly, your enjoyment in retirement will increase substantially. So now that you understand how to use the retirement confidence dashboard to take back control and reduce anxiety around your retirement spending, you can download it again using the second link in the description below and start using and applying this towards your retirement plan. But if you want to see how we help our clients at Peak Financial Planning make smart, confident retirement decisions, you can click the first link in the description below this video, and it'll take you to a short video that will walk you through how to fully optimize your retirement plan and finally achieve your spending goals. Thank you as always for your time and attention. I'll see you in the next video.